Hello, my name is Alionei and I will be reading A Tale of Two Wolves. There was once a very good wolf and a very bad wolf. They were twins. They looked so alike that nobody could tell them apart. However, there was one small difference. The very good wolf had two brown eyes, while the very bad wolf had one brown eye and one blue eye. But it was a very small difference. The very good wolf had not had a very good morning. First of all, he burnt his bottom getting into the bath, which had been too hot for him. And then he cut his tummy while giving himself a haircut. He bandaged himself up with a huff and a puff and went back to bed. He was feeling very sorry for himself when there was a knock on the door. Two policemen were standing on his doorstep. "We had been ordered to arrest you," they said. They drove him off to the police station and locked him in a dark, damp cell. A few days later, the very good wolf was taken to court. Everywhere people pushed to get a better view of him. Reporters scrambled to get a good photo. Nobody noticed the very bad wolf hiding in the background. "Mr. Wolf," the judge began, "we are here today to decide if you are guilty or not guilty." The very good wolf looked around him and gulped. "Do you plead guilty or not guilty?" asked the judge. "Not guilty," replied the very good wolf nervously. "I understand you have chosen to get a lawyer to defend you," said the judge. "You say you can speak for yourself?" The very good wolf nodded. "Very well," said the judge. "Let's begin." You seem to have been in wars," began the barrister. "How did you get that nasty burn on your bottom?" "I had an accident getting into my bath," replied the very good wolf, blushing. "Is that so?" said the barrister, raising his eyebrows. "Please could my first witnesses, the three little pigs, trot forward." Have you seen this wolf before?" asked the barrister. "Yes, he blew down my straw house," cried the first little pig. "And then my stick house," cried the second little pig. "But not my brick house," cried the third little pig. The crowd cheered. "And it was at this brick house that you laid a trap for him?" asked the barrister. "Yes, he fell down my chimney into a pot of boiling water and burnt his hairy bottom. Then he ran off howling," said the third little pig. "And are you sure it's the same wolf?" asked the barrister. "Oh, yes," squealed the little pigs. But, cried the very good wolf. The barrister ignored him. "Thank you, pigs. You may sit down. And what about the cut on your tummy?" the barrister continued. How did that happen?" I was trimming my fur when I cut my tummy," replied the very good wolf. "How interesting," said the barrister. "Please could the woodcutter come forward?" "You have seen this wolf before?" asked the barrister. "Yes, this is the wolf who gobbled up my daughter, the Little Red Riding Hood, and her grandmother," said the woodcutter. "I cut open his big hairy tummy with my axe to let them out, and then he ran away screaming." "And you are sure this is the same wolf?" "Oh, yes," said the woodcutter. But, cried the very good wolf, but the barrister ignored him. Thank you, Woodcutter. Finally, can the 3 bears come forward? Said the barrister. You were out walking in the woods when you saw the wolf walking to Little Red Riding Hood. Yes, we were waiting for our porridge to cool down, said Mummy Bear. Oh, and are you sure it's the same wolf? Oh, yes, growled the 3 little bears. But, cried the very good wolf, but the barrister ignored him. We'd recognize his big hairy ears any day. I have no more questions, said the barrister. Thank you, said the judge. What say the jury? Psst, whisper, whisper, psst. The jury whispered amongst themselves. Everyone held their breath and waited. Finally, a member of the jury stepped forward and cried out, "Guilty!" The courtroom cheered. Suddenly, a little girl in Red Riding Hood made her way to the front. "Excuse me," she said to the judge, "but you have the wrong wolf." The courtroom fell silent. "What do you mean, child?" asked the judge. "When I said to the wolf in my granny's bed, 'Oh, what big eyes you've got,' I noticed he had one brown eye and one big blue eye." Everyone gazed into the very good wolf's 2 big brown innocent eyes and gasped. "The wolf is guilty that's standing right there in the back of the room," said the Little Red Riding Hood. Everyone turned to see the very bad wolf trying to escape. He had a patch over his eye and he was also covered in bandages. "Time to get out of here." "Arrest him and take off his patch," cried the judge. Everyone stared at one blue eye and his one brown eye and gasped. After a few moments, the judge shook his head and said, "We nearly made a terrible mistake today, but the Little Red Riding Hood has taught us all an important lesson, and how the jury must decide how this tale is going to end happily ever after." The end.